What is going on, everybody? It has been a long time, but we are finally somewhat back. We have the first look for week one of the 2023 NFL season on DraftKings. This is the $1 million contest pricing. Once we get closer towards the season, I'll have more breakdowns. This is just the first look on the main slate. I'll have the Monday and Thursday showdowns for that week as well. But yeah, let's get into it. It's been a long time. We got rookies in here now, so it's interesting to see where some of these prices are. So just off the bat, one quarterback, 8K and above, Lamar against Houston. That's an interesting matchup as of right now. Don't know what Houston's defense is going to be. Probably improved from last year, but I don't know. Jalen Hurts against New England at 7,800. Justin Fields, 7,700 against Green Bay. Joe Burrow, who got banged up, 7,100 if he does play. Justin Herbert against Miami week one. That's a pretty good matchup week one. And two right below Herbert at 6,700. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Expect some ownership there. Trevor Lawrence against the Colts. I'm kind of liking that price, 6,500. Not gonna lie right now. Kirk Cousins, Tampa Bay week one, 6,300. Geno against the Rams, 6,100. Some interesting matchups. I'd say some tougher matchups here on the pay-ups. Deshaun Watson, 6K against Cincy. Russ, 5,900 against Vegas. It's a pretty nice price. Pretty good matchup. Kyler is going to be out. Matt Stafford, 5,700 against Seattle. That's gonna be rough. Anthony Richardson, if he is the starter, 5,600. Bryce Young, I would imagine, definitely the starter. 5,500 against Atlanta. That matchup's going to be interesting. That defense did get some improvement. CJ Stroud, yet again, same thing. If he is starting, 5,400 against Baltimore, I would imagine he does start, though. If Brock Purdy is the starter, 5,400 against Pittsburgh. Derek Carr, 5,300 against Tennessee. He's 5,300 against Tennessee. Their defense got kind of gutted. That's a pretty good price point. I like the matchup as well. Garoppolo against Denver. That's a rough one for Vegas week one. A lot of weapons there in Vegas now. Obviously, they lose Waller, but they get Jacoby Myers. They draft Michael Mayer, so there's still a lot of weapons. Josh Jacobs hopefully signs his contract. They get that figured out. Ryan Tannehill, 5,200 against New Orleans. Having D-Hop, interesting. Kenny Pickett, 5,200 against San Francisco. That's going to be probably a hard pass right now. Same thing, Mac Jones, 5,100 against Philly. That's probably going to be a no. An interesting one, Jordan Love, 5K against my Bears. That's a good price point, regardless if you love it or hate it. 5K for starting quarterback with some upside. We don't know how much, but some. Desmond Ridder, 4,900 against Carolina. Don't mind that. If Gardner Minshew is starting, 4,900 for Gardner Minshew. 49 against Jacksonville. The defense did not make a lot of improvements. But still, Baker Mayfield, 4,900 against Minnesota. I would imagine Baker is the starter, and a good matchup. Minnesota replaced a lot of their defense. And then Sam Howell, 4,900 against Arizona. I don't know if I'm a Sam Howell guy. I don't think I can jump on that wagon yet. But 4,900 against a very poor defense. There's not a lot left there. That is a really good price. Trevor Siemian, if he ends up being the starter week one with Burrow being down, you get 4,800. I don't really see much. Colt McCoy, I would imagine Colt McCoy is the starter at 4,800 against Washington. I don't know if I'm missing anything else. I don't think so. Andy Dalton, if Bryce Young isn't starting for whatever reason. Davis Mills, 46. Those guys there. Same thing. Kyle Trask, 4,600. If something happens with Baker, Trask outperforms them. And then Sam Darnold, as of right now, I think is QB2. is how San Fran's treating that, and he's 4,600. So some 4,600 quarterbacks have a possibility if injuries happen between now and then. And at running backs, we're getting 8,700 Christian McCaffrey. That's a crazy price for McCaffrey. He's usually a 9, closer to 10K running back. I don't know if they're going to have last season's. Yeah. So last season they had him mid-ranged 8. I can't remember, but that doesn't seem right. I remember him being at the 9s, but I could be wrong. Austin Eckler, 8,400 against Miami. It'll be interesting to see how that offense looks now with a new OC. Nick Chubb, 8,200 against Cincinnati. I don't really like that much. And then Bijan, 8,000. 8,000 for Bijan, and I still don't care. I'm getting some Bijan ownership. I do not care at 8K against Carolina. Jonathan Taylor, would expect him to be in against Jacksonville. It's a good matchup for him, good price. Derrick Henry against New Orleans, that's kind of shaky. I don't know if I love it. Josh Jacobs against Denver at 77. One of those things, I think their secondary is good. I'm interested to see of how their box is, but that should be a good matchup for Josh Jacobs. Ramondre Stevenson, that Philly defense just looks scarier than they were last year. But at 7K, I still don't know. Travis Etienne, 6,900 against the Colts. I do like that price point. I like the matchup. Joe Mixon against Cleveland, 68, same thing. Like the price, like the matchup. Kamara, 67 against Tennessee. I like the price and matchup in that one as well. J.K. Dobbins, if he is healthy, same thing. Like these running backs, they're a lot of good matchups. The prices are there for me. They're doable. You don't necessarily have to pay up to McCaffrey or Eckler or Bijan if you don't want to. There's kind of the below 7K running backs there. Mattson against Tampa Bay, 65. Not going to trust that yet. James Conner against Washington. I believe Washington's defense should improve, but James Conner will probably get a decent workload, so I don't hate that, especially in a milli maker. If cash, that's a different story. Aaron Jones against the Bears at 63. If the Bears don't make any improvements to their defensive line, which I keep hearing that they're trying to, but 6,300, Aaron Jones against the Bears is definitely a yes right now. Cam Akers against Seattle. I'm not sure of how to really look at that matchup, but I don't like 6,200 for uncertainty like that. 61, Najee Harris against San Fran. That's probably going to be a no for me. Ken Walker, 6K against the Rams. I'm not really loving that right now. Damian Pierce against Baltimore. 5,800, no. If Javonte is healthy by week 1, which I don't know if he will be or not, but if he is, yes. 5,700 against Vegas, yes. Miles Sanders, 56 against Atlanta, same thing, yes. Like, that's a good price point. Rashard White against Minnesota, definitely, yes. They haven't brought anyone in to replace Fournette. It looks like Rashard White, like they brought in Vaughn, or they have Vaughn still. They brought in Edmonds, but no one takes that same workload that Fournette kind of had for that team. Maybe they're going a different route. Maybe that's why, but Rashard White at 5,500, great price point. Looking at some other starting running backs, Raheem Mostert against the Chargers, 5,400. I don't mind that. That's not bad. I just don't know if I really trust any Miami running back. They have a really solid running back room. I really like it, and that offense has some big firepower. DeAndre Swift against New England, no. Khalil Herbert, if he is the starting running back, we kind of get that separation. I imagine Roshan's probably going to get some work as well as Foreman. I think that's kind of weird that Foreman's more than Herbert. Now that I look at it. I saw Foreman, but it didn't click that Herbert's below him. So, yeah, I don't know why you go Foreman. I don't. Jeff Wilson, we mentioned. Antonio Gibson, 5,200 against Arizona. I really like that. Obviously, there's going to be Brian Robinson Jr. going to get some work in. But Antonio Gibson looks like he's going to be the receiving back for that team. So, 5,200, I really like that. Jamal Williams, no, as of right now. I'm going to wait to see how some of these running back rooms kind of shape out before I start to take more risk in tournament plays. Obviously, in cash, I'm not going to touch him. So my JP Ryan, if Javante's out at 5,100, that's a great price for him. Keep going down just to look and see if there's any other starting positions we missed. I don't think so. I don't think there's anyone that we missed. I think we covered everybody for there. All right, so now we're on the wide receivers. Justin Jefferson being the most expensive at 8,800 against Tampa Bay. Kind of a rougher matchup. It's not the matchup that I would love. Cooper Kupp, 8,400 against Seattle. Their secondary is honestly really, really good on paper right now. Let's see if they can do what's expected. Some improvements and probably one of the better, if not the best, rookie corner in this class, so we'll see there. Tyreek Hill against the Chargers. If their secondary is healthy, the Chargers defense could be a lot better, but we'll see. Tyreek Hill is still a menace. 8,200, I like the price point. Jamar Chase, 8,100 against Cleveland. If Burrow's in, I like that. If not, I don't. Devontae Adams, 7,900 against Denver. I don't think I'm going to target that at all. I love Denver's defense, especially their secondary. Really like them, and I don't know what to see of Adams and Garoppolo right now. A.J. Brown against New England, 7,600. I don't mind it. It's not one of those ones that I would have to take, but I don't mind it, especially in the Millie Maker, of getting some ownership there. Keenan Allen, 7,300 against Miami. I do like that. I think it's a really good game for the Chargers to start the season off right. 7,300 is a good price point. Devontae Smith at 7,200. I don't like the price point for him. If he was under 7K, probably around 67, 66, I would like it a lot more, but at 72, I just don't like the price point in that. Jalen Waddle, kind of the same thing as Tyreek Hill. I like it. I don't love it. The price point is there for me, though. DK Metcalf against the Rams. Yes. Just yes. 7K. DeAndre Hopkins against New Orleans. I'm probably going to lean towards Burks if I had to, but DeAndre Hopkins is still a superstar. 6,900, that's kind of a steal for what he can produce. T. Higgins, 68, kind of the same thing as the Chase. More line, we'll look at who the matchup is to really determine that. Tyler Lockett, same thing, yes. Jerry Jeudy against Vegas, yes. Calvin Ridley against the Colts, yes, at 6,500. Olave against Tennessee, 6,500, yes. Terry McLaurin against Arizona, 6,400, yes. Mike Evans against Minnesota, 6,300. I'm buying it. 6,300 Mike Evans against Minnesota, yes. Pittman against Jacksonville, no. DJ Moore against Green Bay. That's going to have to be a 50-50. I'm going to have to look at matchups and stuff like that. But I'm going to say yes for right now. Christian Watson against the Bears. Same thing, kind of a matchup. I'd lean yes, though. Godwin against Minnesota. You could go there if you want to pay $400 cheaper than Mike Evans. You could go it. They're 50-50. It's kind of the same thing as DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett have been. One's going to outscore the other, obviously, but the price point is what you kind of get at, and usually it's under 500, the difference of them. Sometimes it's the same, if not $100 off, so you just flip a coin, basically, for those two. Amari Cooper, 5,800 against Cincinnati. This is almost criminal. That's almost criminal pricing, 5,800. Mike Williams against Miami, 5,700. I'm going to say no. I'd rather go Johnston and Allen just for the pricing and the matchups and stuff like that. Christian Kirk against the Colts, yes. Debo against Pittsburgh at 5,500. I'm leaning yes as of right now. Drake London against Carolina, leaning yes as well. Bateman against Houston at 5,300. Yeah, as of right now, yeah. Deontay Johnson, 5,300 against San Francisco. It's not going to be pretty, but the price point is beautiful. I love 5,300 for that. Definitely yes. Marquise Brown against Washington. For the price, yes, I don't mind it, especially in the Millie Maker. Obviously, cash is different, but Millie Maker, go for it. Cortland Sutton against Vegas, same thing as Jerry Jeudy, definitely yes. And if you want a huge paydown, then yes, go Cortland Sutton. Jordan Addison at 5,100 against Tampa Bay, yes, he is my vote for Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's not Bijan. So 5,100, Jordan Addison, yes. Michael Thomas against Tennessee at 5,100. If he is healthy, yes. Yep. Odell against Houston, I'm going to lay off for now. Robert Woods, definitely a no. Treylon Burks, yes. For the price, I'd rather go Burks and Hopkins. Just for the price. George Pickens, no. Dotson, a lot of people like him. I'm not on him. I'm not fully sold on him yet. I'm going to stay with McLaurin only for the time being. Brandon Ayuk, 4,900 against Pittsburgh. Yeah. JSN against the Rams. If you want a Seattle receiver, and I suggest you should, just based off of where the rosters are, then yeah, 4,900 JSN. If you don't want to pay up for DK and Tyler Lockett, then yeah, JSN 4,900. Jacoby Myers, just don't like the matchup. I like the price though. Juju, I really don't like the matchup at all. But I like the price point. Nico Collins, I don't know who to pick from Houston yet. Obviously, I think John Mechie is probably the guy to go to, but I don't know from there. After that, it's a lot of question marks. I don't want to go through the whole list. We'll look at a couple names. Quentin Johnston, 4,400 for the Chargers. Zay Flowers, 4,000 for Baltimore. Those are some good prices. John Mechie, technically his first year, you could say, 3,600. Mingo, 3,200. Tillman, 3,200. Downs, 3,100. And we're just going to hit a bunch of the no-name players pretty much right now. And then tight ends. Mark Andrews, the only one above 6K against Houston. Definitely yes. TJ against Tampa. I'm probably going to lean no right now. Kittle against Pittsburgh. Probably going to lean no. Goddard against New England. Probably no. Higbee against Seattle. Yes. Ingram against the Colts. Maybe. Schultz against Baltimore. I really like Baltimore's linebacker core right now. Pitts, 45. If he is healthy, then yes. Kmet against Green Bay. I don't know. I'm going to say no for right now. Gerald Everett against Miami. Probably going to lean no. Njoku against Cincinnati is a yes. Fairmouth, no. Not against San Francisco. Greg Dulcich, 4K above Vegas. Yeah, you can throw him in there. I don't mind that. Juwan Johnson, 39 against Tennessee. Same thing. I don't mind that. Chig is 38 against New Orleans. Definitely no. They play tight ends really well. Irv Smith, no against Cleveland. Cade Otton, maybe if he stands out, 3,300. Yeah. I love Jelani Woods. I hope he takes over that starting role and never goes back. He is a freak. I love him and Isaiah Likely out of that class. Logan Thomas, yes, 3,200 if he's the starting tight end. I don't know what that's going to look like. Trey McBride against Washington, I'm probably going to lean no on that. Hayden Hurst against Atlanta. I don't mind a tight end again with a rookie quarterback. I don't mind that at all. Austin Hooper there. And we'll look at some rookies. That's pretty much it for tight ends, guys. A lot of it is more just matchups and getting more in-depth. Luke Musgrave, 2,900 against Chicago. Michael Mayer, 2,800 against Denver. Yeah, I think we're just going to hit the no-names as well. So, I'm not going to go over to the defenses just because that's all in-depth. You can see the prices. Ravens have the most expensive defense. And you have 4 defenses under 2,500. Texans at 21, Buccaneers 22, Raiders 23, Colts 24. So that's pretty much it on that, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll do a FanDuel one too if there's enough interest in it. I could do FanDuel, that's fine. I'm just really excited about this. If you guys are interested in joining us, the link for that will be in the description down below. We're going to start to add more and more stuff as the years go on and start to bring more to what we offer. So if you guys are interested in joining that for our season, all that will be in the description down below, guys. And thank you so much, and I can't wait for this season.